Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Is that it? My name is Matt. Hello. Okay, I have bad news everyone. I was planning on replacing this show with Jonathan, the Superior show, but then I found out that there's only one episode of Jonathan, so I guess we're going back to the original plan of just watching Buffy. But we're continuing with Buffy today. I was told this episode sucks. Which I don't know if that's the case or not. I haven't seen it, but like I believe it because there are some episodes of this show that are just like, whatever. An episode that people told me like, oh yeah, this is a bad one. It's like Beer Bad, which I watched, and I kind of had fun with it, but I understand why people would say it's bad because it really doesn't matter. It's kind of stupid. So when people told me that about this episode, when I say people, I mean Patreon people. My trusted Patreon folks. I was informed like, oh, this episode's not great, and I was like, what kind of bad? Is it like offensive bad, or is it like stupid bad? Should I just turn my brain off and just passively consume it and just move on with my life? And yes, that seems to be the case. Apparently it's just a dumb episode. We'll see how dumb it is, but that actually makes my life easier in a way, because I like whenever I'm gonna record one of these, I always have this feeling of like, okay, gotta bring on my A game. I gotta talk about things that matter. I gotta focus on picking up stuff. But then if I'm being told, don't worry about it, this episode is not great, it kind of sucks and it's stupid, that makes me feel like, okay, thank God, I don't have to care. I just have to just sit here and just get through it. However, every time I try to do that, I care too much anyway. That's kind of my problem. But yeah, we're just gonna watch it. We'll see what it's about. But I'm actually coming in with a better mood than usual because I am not expecting anything. So whenever that's the case, I'm like, okay, that's great. Because like nobody has ever told me like, oh yeah, this episode sucks. Nobody has ever told me that with a show. And we have had some rough episodes. So it's like interesting that this is the one that I got a warning for finally, which makes me think like, oh, this is a bad one. It has to be really dumb in order for people to warn me about it, because that has never happened before. But whatever, it could just be another just Beer Bad or something. We'll just have fun with it. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna move on. Which it's also interesting that that's the case because we just had like so many bangers in Buffy. Last episode with Jonathan, it was like whatever, but before that we had all the Fate stuff, and before that we had all the Adam stuff. Like season really popped off, and then suddenly Jonathan comes in, and now this episode, whatever it may be. All right, we're gonna begin with this episode now. Patreon, check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel and watch the next Buffy episode as well as Angel episode 18, right? Yeah, I am gonna be reacting to that one. And spoiler alert, I have seen the title for that Angel episode just listed, so I know what to expect, and honestly I was already expecting that, so it works out. So yeah, you can watch Buffy, you can watch Angel over at the Patreon in full length and watch alongs and stuff like that. Alright, let's begin. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 4 episode 18, let's go.
On Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That's how we're kicking it. Is this an Anya episode?
Mine.
Okay, this is the relationships episode.
Vamps hate demons. So, I guess we should tell Giles about this as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Yep. Dude, ever since I noticed last week, I'm just sitting here like, I think James Master is just literally collecting a paycheck. He just shows up every episode and he's like, I'm Spike, I'm a bad boy. And then he leaves and that's it. It's like, there you go. He got paid for it. The weird Jonathan episode actually serves as an in-between whatever happened with Faith in the relationship to now, where it's just like, we're good. In a dark scene like this, I cannot tell anything what's going on. With all my lights and stuff, I can never tell. Thank God. Lighting.
You don't find me attractive anymore.
What are you talking about? I think you're gorgeous.
Why didn't we have sex last night?
We've gone other nights without sex.
I know. Twice. Can't believe we're breaking up. You've obviously grown tired of me. I mean, I've seen it happen to thousands of women over the centuries. I just never thought it would happen to me.
Anya, there's a lot more to you and me than the sex. Well, there should be. A relationship is something that you work
There
at,
should be.
work through, together.
Why didn't you take advantage of me? Is something wrong with your body? I saw that wrinkled man on TV talking about erectile dysfunction.
Whoa, hey, you want sex? Let's have sex. Right here. Hot, sweaty, big sex.
There are children outside.
They really aren't.
Tara!
As a rule,
Tara!
So what brought these two together?
Adam.
Who better to bring together a bunch of demon types than someone who's made out of a bunch of demon types?
So he's
okay.
bridging the gap between the races.
Huh, like Martin Luther King.
Exactly like MLK, I guess. That's a comparison.
Buffy, hey, look at the time.
Right, that thing we could squeeze in before. Bye.
They're gonna go bang. So, is this the relationships episode or the sex episode? Dude, they king it over that fucking MLK line. Is there a horny demon this episode? Like a horny gas that makes people horny, like that episode of Torchwood?
I've been building this thing for an hour. It's still a nice box in here.
Okay, so there's something cold. Is there something supernatural about the sex? Fire. Fire. Psycho soldier. Man, some fire. Yeah, I don't know. The log just exploded. I didn't know what just happened. Anya?
Oh, it's you.
Oh, she's gonna feel undesirable.
I'm robbing you.
You can't fight.
Does this really work?
Yeah, it works. Keeps me in blood and beers. Plus, you know, funny, watching the little humans quail.
Makes me wonder, is it me? Am I the crazy one?
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Just go bang, dude.
This might be a good time to mention that someone so not me spilled something purpley on your new peasant top, which I would never borrow without asking. Still love me? Uh-huh.
Perfect.
Huh? What about my peasant top?
Oh, shit.
A year and a half ago, I could have eviscerated him with my thoughts. Now I can barely hurt his feelings. Things used to be so much simpler.
You know, you take the killing for granted. And then it's gone, and you're like, I wish I'd appreciated
This is such a weird duo.
Stopped and smelled the corpses, you know?
Yeah. Seen 1,000 relationships. First there's the love and sex.
To be fair, she only sees the bad ones.
Last, the vengeance. That's how it works.
You eviscerate Xander, and I'll stay true. Like a project.
I don't know. I just can't. You can go do Drew, though.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. Eventually, maybe.
Maybe later.
I don't know. At some point.
The thing that they're afraid to teach us about is the inherent sensuality of language.
Who are these characters?
Versus what you are.
Oh, the house. Something wrong with the house.
Wow.
Are you alright?
The horny house. When you touch the house makes you horny. He's coming right now.
Wow.
That's such a dumb concept if that's what it is. Oh no, he's getting horny for another. Wait, who? For a second, I thought she was in Jollibee Manny.
Who are you here with?
Right now, I seem to be here with you.
So he's just making conversation with other girls, I guess?
I need you to take a look at an essay for class.
They just can't stop, can they?
Put your hand right here.
Oh, he showed her and she was like, hell yeah.
Whoa. I kind of feel...
This is real dumb.
Well, sure, I learned to ride when I was a kid. It's fun.
Oh, she's a horse girl. Cool. I have a friend who's a horse girl.
If you promise she'll look after me.
Don't touch me. That's just disgusting.
That's so weird.
What's the matter?
I don't know. I'm fine. I just want to go to the bathroom.
Okay, so it's like a positive and negative zone. The horny zone with the heat and the Puritan zone with the cold, I guess.
What are you doing? You brought me here? Anya? What are you doing? You brought him here?
That's what I said.
Nobody cares.
You two keep scraping. I'll find another gun.
You're overreacting. We had a fight. But see, it's okay. It's normal.
That was also like
Yes,
barely a
it's the
fight.
normal part of ending a relationship right before the vengeance begins. I'm just trying to tell you that we have nothing in common besides both of us liking your penis. And now I don't even have that.
Okay, you know what?
Okay.
You don't deserve to be the one to walk away from this. I put up with a hell of a lot from you. And if anyone gets to be the one to leave, it's me.
You're leaving me?
Yes, I am.
Where are you going?
To enjoy the party.
Well, then I'm staying too. To show you how much I'm not bothered by you having fun. Because I'll be having more fun.
I'm having fun already.
Me too.
So everyone touching the horny wall? Yeah, everyone's hanging out at the horny corner.
Look familiar.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Just going for it. Okay.
Julie, what?
I'm sorry.
That was the horny acting, not her. They're all just coming in a corner, touching a wall.
You okay?
I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad.
What? Maybe it's just like the negative zone is like a set of negative emotions. How's Tara doing? Alright, completely normal thing to see. Yeah, I don't know. We're dealing with some ghostmen. Some ghostmen.
I don't know.
And I don't care. Let's keep banging.
Ghost boy drowning in a tub. I tried to save him, but being a ghost already, well, I was way too late.
That's a line. I like that. You okay?
How are you?
I don't like it here. This house. I think we should go.
Oh, it's gonna... Oh, boy. Yeah. At least it exploded. I thought it would literally just launch into someone and just fucking break their face. They're too busy banging, and they can't stop.
Buffy!
What the fuck is this episode? It's like they keep adding layers onto things. Yep, the only thing that matters is the sex. It's just the bed and the sex, nothing else. The world is disappearing, it's just them. I do like though an episode where like Buffy doesn't actually immediately just solve the problem. Not immediately, but just being the main character and all. The entire like building moved. The house moved. We're in the forest or something now. I don't know what's happening. Oh boy. Why? Like why?
Touch not the impure thing, for ye shall perish. Find salvation in the cross of our Lord and Savior. Right.
It actually is the Puritan side. What's up, Anya? How you doing? How you doing, girl? Yeah, she's a ghost. Sure, man.
We have to go back in there.
Why?
Because Buffy and Riley are trapped. We're fresh out of super people and somebody's got to go back in there. Now who's with me?
I am. No, I'm not the first choice for heroics. And Buffy's tried to kill me more than once.
But I want to kill her myself.
I don't fancy a single one of you at all. But, actually, all that sounds pretty convincing.
That's pretty good. I was like, why is he... And it's like, well, he's not gonna. That's great.
I'm going back in there and I'm not coming out until I bring my friend with me.
Well, poor Xander. He tried to be a hero, and then it's like, nah. Oh! Knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man, behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like. Their fucking face, but my
Every day the
dream.
earth rotates backward and the skies turn orange.
Is that actually him singing?
His voice is pleasant.
What?
He's kind of sexy.
I'm fighting total mental breakdown here, Will.
You're too far away from me.
I'm right here.
We need to become one. I need to open your skin and crawl inside you. It's a doki doki literature.
The Lowell Home for Children housed upwards of 40 adolescents.
Yeah, and who's hornier than adolescents?
Genevieve Holt, Sunnydale Children's Aid, 30 years of community service, giving disadvantaged kids the love and care they deserve.
Let's go talk to her.
No, I don't mind at all. I was up. Early morning prayer, of course. I fed them and clothed them, educated them in the way of the Lord.
There we go. There it comes.
No one died, if that's what you mean. The engraving on the middle says how good I was with the children.
She's lying.
I treated them as I would my own flesh and blood. Gave them hugs and praise when they were good and punished them when they were dirty.
Mm-hmm.
My kids didn't think I knew, but I did. Without me, they would have been shot out of the kingdom.
Yeah, there we go.
Lost to lust. I'd see them preening like Jezebel, doting over their pretty hair.
So you'd hack it off.
I'd remove the temptation to admire themselves. They were better for it.
What about the bathtub? Something happened there.
I performed baptisms on the most unclean, those who were tainted with impure thought and deed.
You held them under.
You choose to pass judgment on me?
Well, someone ought to
Ho-ho!
traumatized and abused
That was
these
good.
Children who've no doubt become extremely disturbed adults. You have ruined lives, Mrs. Holt. You have a great deal to answer for.
I refuse to listen to this when I can smell the sin on each and every one of you.
Yeah? You smell sin? Well, let me tell you something, lady. She who smelt it dealt it.
I mean, he's right in this instance.
I mean, those kids were tortured, but they weren't killed. So where are those ghosts coming
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
thinking.
believe there are any ghosts.
Okay. Just raw energy.
I believe we're dealing with a kind of poltergeist, a whole cluster of them, in fact, born out of intense adolescent emotion and sexual energy.
Both of which were
Okay.
totally penned up during Mrs. Holt's reign of repression.
Yeah, exactly. That's
So
what would happen.
You know, acts of nakedness around the clock lately. Maybe they set something free, like a big burst in poltergasm.
That's a line. I don't even know if that's what a poltergeist is, what he's describing, just raw energy that just happened. But I think that they just called it a poltergeist in order to make the poltergasm pun, which I'm down with. That sounds like a good idea, honestly. This episode is dumb.
Children of the past.
Man, we have 2 spellcasters and 1 knowledgeable enough to be a spellcaster in the team now. This is great.
How will we know when it works?
Hi. Hi, dead children. Well, not dead children, just the energy of children of the past. Oh yeah, they have to hack some trees or something. Why are there trees growing? Like, they are not ghosts, apparently, but they still look like zombies.
You okay?
Oh, everyone felt it. Oh boy. Well. Oh boy. Yeah, Anya, save him. You love each other. Prove it. Ooh, that's awful. That's like the worst injury we've had in this fucking show. And she also didn't give a shit about it, by the way. We're having like a fucking horror survival movie with this couple. Okay, they're back to reality.
Xander, don't you knock?
I just had no idea. It's so creepy. He was really singing?
Come on, you have to admit, it was kind of sexy.
Please stop saying that.
We're just lucky no one got injured. No thanks to us.
That's great though. I like an episode. I don't know if we've ever had an episode where Buffy didn't do anything.
We were like zombies. I had no control over myself at all. Must have been horrible.
It was great.
Yeah, horrible.
Well, they had fun. I wonder if Buffy's and Riley's, I mean mainly Buffy's because she's the one that matters the most, actors were just not available for that episode. Like they had a little bit of time and they were like, all right, we gotta write something where they don't actually do a lot. So they just spend 70% of the episode banging. And that's great actually. I like an episode where, I said this before many times, but I like an episode where like Buffy doesn't really save the day. And in this instance, she doesn't do anything. That's great for me. I like that. All right, that was the horny ghost, but not really ghost, poltergeist, but not really poltergeist. I mean, okay, now, let me look up the definition of a poltergeist. A poltergeist is a type of ghost or spirit that is responsible for physical disturbances, such as loud noises, whatever. Parapsychologists Nander Fodor and William G. Roll suggested that poltergeist activity can be explained by psychokinesis. It's like, how to explain a supernatural thing that has no explanation? Well, it could be explained by another supernatural thing that has no explanation. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. They were saying that there were ghosts, and they were like, it's not ghosts, it's a poltergeist. And a poltergeist is actually a ghost. So that doesn't make any sense. But I think they used that word just to make the poltergasm pun, which I'm down with. But just be honest about it. I will say that episode was actually kind of fun for me because I do like an episode where Buffy is not the center stage. I know that the show is called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I think that also makes it so every episode I am expecting that to be the focus. So whenever we get an episode where that is not the focus, where someone else gets to be the main character, in this instance, it was Sander, with Willow, Tara, and Anya coming in clutch, but it was mostly Sander. That's fine. I like seeing that. It's a refreshing change of pace. Now, as for what the actual, like, evil entity or demon or whatever the episode was, it's like, I mean, okay. I'm immediately thinking back to Torchwood. And I mentioned this before, but the second episode of Torchwood has a horny alien that is a gas that goes inside of people and it makes them horny. And it makes you fuck people, and the people that you fuck literally explode into energy and you absorb them. And that's how it feeds. And it's just a horny episode because it makes everyone around you horny. So it is the horny alien. So I'm immediately thinking back to that. And I'm trying to figure out whether or not I like this episode or that episode more. Because the horny alien episode is like immediately way too much and really stupid. This episode though, this Buffy episode, it is not diving 100% into that idea of like, there's a horny demon. That's not what it is. It is instead, okay, there was this like foster care home with this old lady. Well, it wasn't an old lady back then. It was a lady who took care of the children, but instead she forced a very Puritan lifestyle on these children, and in fact physically and psychologically punished them, abused them, so much so that she created such a massive influx of negative energy and just energy in general that manifested in the house getting possessed by a bunch of spirits that are not ghosts. It's just the energy of one, like very Puritan ideas and punishments, but also two, just the repressed raw sexual horny energy of these teenagers. Okay? It is a paranormal show. It is a supernatural show. I say this every time. It is a supernatural show. Anything can happen, and it is not my place to question it. I will question it regardless because I think it's fun to question things, but it doesn't mean that I actually have an issue with it because, like, whatever, who gives a shit? This is not real. However, I'm trying to figure out whether or not I would have preferred if this episode was a little bit more on the, like, serious side or more into the stupid side, which is what that Torchwood episode was. Because I actually do like stupid shit. I do like when an episode is just like 100% committed into making something stupid. So I'm like thinking that this episode is like a weird middle point because like the explanation as to the horny happening is actually something very serious. You know, it's just like this old lady was abusing them is all this like ideas of, I would say, of the olden days, and they were definitely more prevalent then, but they're still around, you know, punishing children and trying to like discipline them, but instead you're just abusing them and wrecking them for life. And this is like serious issues, and you can make an episode around that, but a lot of the episode was actually just like people getting horny, touching a wall and coming in their pants, spinning bottles and kissing. But then there was also like the parts that were really interesting where whenever Tara was like, don't touch me, that's disgusting. Like that was immediately like, I kind of pieced it together at that point what that was, but it was interesting to see people in that state of mind. And also the girl that jumped on top of Xander and tried to kiss him. Well, she did, but then she immediately went like, I'm sorry, God, I'm bad. And then she went and cut her hair, just going, I'm bad. It's like, that's it's not fun, but it is fun for me to see of like, oh, there's something really wrong here. And it's kind of like a weird psychological like abuse thing. I do like that. However, that wasn't the focus of the episode. It is instead, hey, we're gonna party and there's a lot of sex and people getting horny. And then the episode like solved itself, and the way it solved itself too, it's like, when they opened the door, everything was immediately fixed. And in the editing, they made it so like the bed comes back into like a normal frame, and it's like, oh, the bed and them banging came back to reality. And by coming back to reality, then I guess all of reality is fine now. But like, that doesn't solve the problem. But I guess it did. It just doesn't, but it did. Whatever. Again, I say this a lot. Whatever. It's supernatural. Who gives a shit? Like, you can't question the explanation given to you because there are no rules. The rules are made up. Okay. As for things that actually matter to talk about in this episode, there was a little bit of a rough patch in the relationship between Sander and Anya. That happened. I think it's back to normal though. At the end of the episode, they were together and Anya saved Sander. Anya got like the worst injury anyone has gotten in the show so far. Unless I'm forgetting something, but she just got impaled through her hand. And it was kind of funny because like when she was going back to save Sander, she was like, oh, like she wasn't even going like, I'm gonna do it. She was just like tired. It looked like she was annoyed and reluctant to do it, which can be explained as like she got hit and she was like a little bit dizzy, so she was like, whatever, I'm going. But then she got impaled through her fucking hand and she was like, whatever, I'm going. Like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it was also kind of funny. She saved Sander from being drowned, I guess, and then they opened a door, I guess. Like, why did the children stop fighting? Like, I can't. Anyway, we had Giles do a rendition of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. It was pretty good. I wonder if that was actually the actor singing. What's the name of the actor? What's the name of Giles' actor? Is it like Anthony? Anthony Stewart Head. That would be cool if that was actually him singing. And it would be cool if that was actually him playing too. Makes you think of Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi in Doctor Who. There was an episode. I mean, there's a couple episodes where he just pulls out a electric guitar and just fucking start fucking playing. And he's actually really good at it because he's a musician. And he actually does release some rock shit. And it's like, that's cool. That's a cool old man. He's also a big fan of like David Bowie and shit. There's a video of Peter Capaldi, I think, playing Starman at a convention and people singing along with him. I'm getting distracted. But that was cool. It was cool to see Giles do that. Spike collected his paycheck. James Masters was like, bro, I need $500. I need to pay rent. And he just came in and they were like, all right, we can drop you in here. Dude, straight up, that's what's happening, I think. Like, Spike has no bearings on anything in the show anymore. But he's in every episode. He's in the title sequence. Everyone is like, yeah, dude, he's important. But like, he just shows up and he just like chills out. He has like a scene where he's sitting in a couch drinking and they're like, do I know you? And they're like, nah. And that's it. And then he gets like tied to the chair and then he breaks free and then he leaves. And that's it. And it's like, oh, I think James Masters is literally just getting paid. That he's just coming in and he's like, bro, I can just put in the costume and just show up. And they're like, all right, we need to fill in a couple minutes. So there was that scene at the beginning with Anya and Sander fighting, I guess, in the ice cream truck. And then they were talking about sex in front of the children. That was funny. I called it punchline because it was too obvious, but it's good. I saw Tara and I got excited, but then Tara didn't really do much, so you know. But I did like, I suppose that's like positive I can say about this episode. We did get a fair bit of Anya, and I do like Anya. Anya is still like, alongside Tara, my favorite characters. And I do like that Anya has like no fucking understanding of how a relationship could even work. She's like, we didn't have sex last night. Are you breaking up with me? And it's like, right, I guess. And I do like that Sandra actually does have a more mature... That's very interesting, actually. Something I'm noticing, something I'm realizing now is that by having Anya be such a just removed person from any degree of normalcy, like Sander in previous seasons, like in early Buffy, he was the like jokey guy. It felt like he maybe wasn't the person that took things the most seriously. However, having Anya, I feel kind of weirdly grounds him a little bit, because Anya is just talking about like all these things that to her make sense, but Sander is just like, that makes no goddamn sense. And what he does is that he tries to explain to Anya, this is how it works, this is how relationships are. He's like, you gotta work through stuff together. Whenever you come into a rough patch, whenever you have a fight, it's like something you have to work in together. It's not something that's just like, oh, we have sex and it's like, we're good. It's like, no, it's something you put effort in, both of you. And it's like, it's a very mature thing to say. And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, Sander is developing and growing entirely because he needs to keep a leash on Anya, who is crazy. or not crazy, but she just doesn't fit because she's not normal human. She's just barely learning how to be one. So I do love that. I am just realizing that now as I'm watching this episode, that I think Anya is actually allowing Sander to grow a lot as a person, entirely because he has to do it because Anya will not. And not just that, because I also feel like he has to like learn who he is himself in order to explain to Anya like how the relationship should be like, right? Because it's like, you can just throw yourself to Anya and just bang all day 24/7, and it's like, that's fine. But we do know that Sander actually wants something more intimate, something more real, something more serious, because he doesn't really get like love at home, because his parents kind of suck. So he does want that in a relationship. So whenever Annie's just like, let's fuck, it's like, well, that's not what love is, So then he has to like pierce together what he wants and what a relationship should be like according to him, and then try to explain that to Anya. And Anya is like, I don't get it. That's good. That's a good dynamic. I like that. I don't know if it's a healthy dynamic, but it is a good dynamic to watch. So I did like seeing a lot of Anya. Weirdly enough, the hero of the episode was Anya. It was Sander, and then Anya at the end saved him. Hell yeah. All right, I think that's it. I don't know what else I can say about this episode. I just realized I didn't even stop recording between the reaction and this discussion bit, which is what I usually do. I didn't even do that. I just went right into it. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode. I don't know what else to talk about. But yeah, next week we'll be watching Angel. Hey, we're watching Angel. So I'm gonna be reacting to Angel season 1 episode 18, and then I guess I'm gonna alternate between shows. That's the way I'm doing it, honestly. Like, fuck a watch order. I'm just watching one episode of each. So I'm gonna be watching Angel season 1 episode 18, then Buffy season 4 episode 19, then Angel season 1 episode 19. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, just like 1, 1, 1, 1, and then we're gonna go back to Buffy, I think. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this episode of Buffy. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time. And alright everyone, thank you so much for tuning in for this reaction episode to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you would like to watch the next episode reaction as well as Angel reactions, you can do it over at the Patreon. Check out the link in the description below, social media, also the cool stuff that I do. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye bye.